So these guys come from all over the country, from different programs. They're used to different coaching. A lot of them are comfortable with completely different teams, and then they come here to be a part of the Bullfrogs. So as the head coach, how do you take these guys and mold them into a team?
Well, that's a tough question. It's actually the million-dollar question with summer leagues. What happens is you end up getting 30 baseball players, and they understand the concept and the dynamic of a team, coming from the programs they do and the respective systems that they run and the chemistry that they have year-round at their universities. And what we have to do is, like you said, bring them in here for 2 months and make them buy into the team concept that they're Bullfrogs for 2 months, and they're no longer from Gonzaga or TCU or Cal Poly or wherever they may be from. They're Bullfrogs for the summer, and that's tough. But anytime you play a sport or any time in athletics where it's a team game, you can't win unless you buy into that team concept and you try and play team baseball. And that's something we've been working on, and I think it's, like you said, it's a difficult process, but from a chemistry standpoint, we've been there since everybody rolled in. But as far as playing team baseball and kind of separating the individual and putting the individual, behind the team, and realizing that if we're going to do things here to win, we got to do it with the team involved or the team in mind. And I think guys have done that over the past 2 weeks, and that's why we've seen better baseball played by the Bullfrogs. Whether or not the wins and losses have been there, we've played better baseball throughout the past 2-3 weeks than we did early on. And I think that's kind of buying into a team concept and a team mind frame.
So there's a lot of differences between summer ball and school ball. You touched on a few of them. A few more are the development of skills and the growth of a player, as well as just getting in a ton of reps. But there tends to be that laid back style compared to school ball. So how do you balance those things?
I think the key word is opportunity, and each player realizes that in front of them is a great opportunity to take their game to the next level, and you can't get there unless you put in the amount of time that's necessary and the amount of effort that's necessary to develop your skills to become a pro baseball player. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what each and every kid on this team wants to end up. They want to end up at the next level, and by that they're already self-motivated to put the work in. And I don't think the pressures that come from school ball or college baseball is that there's wins and losses and jobs on the line. Here, they don't have to worry so much about whether they win or lose, and I think there's an interesting dynamic in that you end up playing better baseball that way. But with that being said, it's about us separating ourselves from the rest of the pack, kind of getting on a roll here and realizing that, yeah, it's laid back, but we're still playing baseball. That doesn't change.
So you talked a little bit about that this is a great experience for these guys, but I think this league is all about development for everyone involved, including the coaching staff. And this is your first year as a head coach, and I assume that you've learned some things along the way as well. So given the opportunity to do this again, what have you learned? Is there anything you would do different?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you do something for the first time, you're gonna figure out that there's things you would do different, or there's things you would do the same. With that being said, I think what this year has done for me as a coach in my development it's taught me, or given me the experience in managing a staff and managing players, and at the same time understanding the kind of strategy that goes into game day and what you're going to do throughout the 9 innings or even beyond that if we go extras. What we're trying to do to win the game and putting our players in the best position to win. And I think a lot of that isn't so much done during the game even. It's done before the game starts in early work or batting practice, and getting guys the best reps they can to develop and the best coaching they can to develop their skills. Yeah, in terms of doing things different, just understanding players' roles and having a firm grasp on it. But that's something that comes with inheriting new players for a year, or in such a quick span, and having to figure out what guys are good at and what guys aren't good at. And that's why I think you see that transition early on in the season in terms of finding out where guys are comfortable and where we can position them the best to have success. And just honing in on that early in the season and kind of weeding through and sifting through where guys are most comfortable is something I'll look to do next year as soon as I get here. But other than that, I wouldn't do too much different.
Well, we've enjoyed having you around, and good luck on the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Right fielder, Nick Torres.
All right, So first off, congratulations on Northwood's Hitter of the Night. You had 2 home runs, a single, and a total of 6 RBIs. How does it feel to have a night like that?
It's nice, you know. It's kind of rough sometimes transferring from metal bats to wood bats, and it's always nice to get some payoff a little bit for some hard work.
It seems like you've started to lead this team offensively, but it took a couple weeks after your arrival to settle in and start putting up the numbers that we are now getting used to seeing you produce. Was that just an adjustment period, or were you working on things and now you're seeing a result?
A little bit of both, actually. Yeah, it's definitely an adjustment from, you know, with the bats and everything, but I was kind of cutting myself off in my stride a little bit, and with the shortage of tees around this place, it was kind of hard to get some work in, and so when we finally makeshifted one, I got a little bit of extra work in and fixed it right up, and ever since then I've been seeing the results.
So like you've mentioned, a big difference between school ball and summer ball is the bats, and you have touched a little bit on that is obviously a transition from one to the other. Can you touch a little more on the delay of the performance that it causes?
Yeah, you know, with a wood bat, it's just a different type of swing. Your hands tend to be a little bit more slow through the zone. You got to get used to the heaviness of a wood bat and everything, and you also have a little bit more room for error with the metal bat, and so it makes it a little easier to find holes and to get some big hits and stuff, and you don't have to worry about ever breaking a bat like you do with wood, and so it's a little bit of a mental block too, and I guess, yeah, it's definitely an adjustment from one to the other.
So this is your second year of summer ball. Last year you were in Corvallis playing for the Corvallis Knights. What are some of the differences between the leagues?
I think the biggest thing so far is I noticed a lot of big hitters in this league, and last summer seemed to be dominated a little bit more by pitching, and I don't know if that was because the difference in pitchers, just different guys, or if that's because the fields here are smaller, or just better hitters or what, but I noticed that there's definitely a lot more power in this league, I would say, and last summer was just a lot more finesse, a lot more pitching dominated, and
How is it transitioning from team to team? You play for a team that you've been with for 2 years at Cal Poly. You're used to a different group of guys. So coming into here with guys from all over the country, how is that a transition for you?
It's tough, actually. You know, a good team a lot of the times is made by the chemistry on the team. And, you know, a team with not a lot of talent can go far just because everybody's pulling on the same side of the rope, and everybody's really pulling for each other. But you could have a good team, a really good, talented team, and that doesn't do much and underachieves just because the chemistry's bad. And so it's definitely tough on a team like Cal Poly where everybody's pulling for each other, and our chemistry is so good to come into a new environment and have to get to learn a bunch of new guys and get a feel for their personalities and how they play and how they mesh with you and everything. So it can be tough, but so far it's been pretty good. There's a lot of guys on this team with, you know, good work ethic and good personalities and stuff. It's been good.
All right, Nick, well, we enjoy having you out here playing for the Bullfrogs. We wish you luck on the rest of the season.